Okay, so how was the beginning of week 3 for everyone?
Crazy. But I do have some good news, Professor. I
Oh,
just finally
hold on, wait a sec. Can you start over because I'm really glad we're talking, but I didn't turn my volume on.
That's okay. I said
Like,
it's been crazy because I know you know that I'm doing my first close, and
yeah.
unfortunately by myself since they gutted the department and I'm the only one left. I finally finished my first financials all by myself.
Cool.
Only have to do 2 adjustments and I get to hit close.
Would you like an extension on your paper?
No, I'm actually taking, because I'm hitting the button tomorrow. I'm taking time off and they gave me approval so that I can work on my paper Friday afternoon and Saturday morning. So I should be done Saturday, but I'll let you know if I have a hiccup in that.
Well, I have to say that there isn't any better reason because, you were doing accounting.
It was so hard because they have so much WIP.
What did you learn?
I learned how they use lower cost of market, which I read in our book that that's not normal.
No, it's not. All companies use lower of cost or market.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Okay, so and we're going to talk about this. So inventory, there's 3 different costing methods, which is last in, first out, or weighted average. And that's how you figure out how much it costs. But then lower of cost or market is at the end of the period, you want to evaluate the cost of your inventory that's on your balance sheet. Because it's an asset, right? And we don't want to overstate assets. So let's say that, especially with like electronics, let's say that, you have all of these hard drives on your inventory. But then, as we know, electronics go down in value, right? So it gets to the point where at the end of the year, you're looking at these and you're realizing, well, it wouldn't cost me as much to replace them right now as what I have them on my balance sheet for. So you've obviously and unfortunately overstated an asset, so you have to decrease the value.
Okay, that makes sense. Ours is parts, so we've got a lot of machines. So they're constantly making new parts, and then we have the ones we store and a lot of raw material and a lot of transfers to finished goods. So it looked like on the inventory, the way that they were doing it is trying to decide which stuff gets transferred as an accrual towards finished goods. Cycle.
Wow. You really got a good education there.
Okay, it's very complicated. It's going to take me a couple months more to really get it down, but there's so many jobs because we've got something like 1,000 jobs, 1,100 jobs out on the floor in various stages of production.
Have you taken managerial accounting yet, or cost accounting, depending on what they call it at graduate level?
It looks like for the way my master's is going is I'm doing all the accounting portion of the MBA before the actual MBA. So cost accounting comes after the financial accounting, which I'll have you for the next class, and then financial accounting 3, and then I think it goes into cost accounting.
You're going to get a tremendous amount.
A lot of cost accounting.
Yes, you're going to get a tremendous amount out of cost accounting because that's exactly what, part of it's financial, but the other part that you're talking about is absolutely cost accounting.
And I actually have to say these classes are a lot more helpful than the bachelor's ones.
Okay, it's going to seem that way.
Well, it gave me a good start, though. It gave me a good start.
It's gonna seem that way, but the reason it's gonna seem that way is because of how much more knowledge and experience you have now.
But it was very exciting, and my balance sheet was only off $3, and the CEO just laughed.
Okay, and that's a lesson in which concept?
Well, I found it in the liabilities. I have to offset it. It was a rounding error.
But them just laughing, why were they laughing at $3?
Because the controller that they fired used to have a balance sheet off way worse.
Okay, and also materiality.
Yeah.
So this is really amazing that you're doing this.
Yeah, and the P&L looked really good. I got everything in. It's a crap ton of journal entries, moving everything around, and
Yes, but you'll see that they repeat. A lot of them repeat month after month.
they do, but majority of them, the numbers change.
Yes, the numbers change.
Lots of accruals.
Yes, the numbers change, but the entries don't, and so at least you have like a roadmap after you get used to it.
Yes.
So amazing experience. I'm so glad that I know it makes the timing really hard, but I am so glad that you're getting those experiences. They're amazing.
Heck yeah. It's just been a little bit difficult because normally we used to get the stuff done in 5 days, and it was slightly more than that this time, but I was pretty much by myself trying to reverse engineer.
Yeah, but if you're at 13 days, that's not bad.
Well, I had to reverse engineer everything the controller did before on his journal entries because he didn't make it easy to
What's
find.
your undergrad in?
I have a bachelor's in accounting.
Okay, still, it's amazing you could do it. It's phenomenal. 13 days is great. A lot of companies wait that long to close anyway.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I don't know if it'll be shorter next time because I've got end of year at the same time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Raw inventory counts in the early part of next week, and then the end of next week, because they're closing majority of the plant for Christmas, I've got the whip count and quality inventory counts.
Yeah.
And that stuff can't move until the auditors give me okay on January 2nd.
Does our next class start? January 2nd, you guys?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so listen, if you need help during that class, would you please let me know? Reach out.
I will. I saved your phone number.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do tonight, there's no quiz, which is great. So I should start with, are there any questions about the paper?
Nope, I'm good. I just have to sit down at the library and
write it? Is that why there are no questions, because you guys haven't done it yet?
I've tried to come home early enough that I could do it. I just haven't had time to sit in the library, but I don't think I'll have a problem.
Wait a minute. Why are you sitting in the library?
No, well, online in the library.
Oh, good. I've not had, okay, so that's why. Hey, some people want to know, where do you work, Catherine?
Systems 3, our largest client is Boeing, and we just got word that Lockheed got their huge contract for those hypersonic missiles, and we just got a large 5-year PO from them for some parts.
Wow.
That will actually go on that government contract. So we're very excited.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so I'm asking about the paper because obviously I want to help you if you need it, but it doesn't surprise me at all that most of you haven't started. I would probably be writing it this weekend if it was me. I am pulling up, can you see the course outline? Am I sharing the course outline on my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so somebody asked a question about the paper, so I'm going to go down here. First of all, I'm showing you where it is, but also, well, apparently I'm showing myself where it is. There, research paper. First of all, it's not going to tank your grade. It's only worth 40 points. Sorry, it's confusing because my screen's so big that it does this. Okay, specifics of the paper right here. 12-point Times New Roman font, single space, 1/8 margins, all sides. I'm fine with double spaced. I actually prefer double spaced, but remember that it is supposed to be You need 5 full text articles. 3 of them should need to come from the library. At least 1 should be from a CPA journal or Journal of Accountancy. Where does it say I want to say it was 2 to 4 pages or 2 to 3 pages.
Two pages single space or 2 pages double?
The pages that are listed in here are single spaced.
But you prefer double?
Yeah, I usually change single, but I think this happened too quickly before the course.
Well, I mean, if it's easier for double space, that's
easier to read it and give comments when it's double spaced.
Right?
How am I not seeing the page numbers? Okay, let's do this. Because we talked about the page numbers. I'm going back to Blackboard. Okie dokie. Well, that's interesting. This says maximum of 50 points. One of them's wrong. Here we go. It should be a minimum of 2 pages and a maximum of 3 pages, single spaced. So if you double space it, it would be a minimum of 4 pages and a maximum of 6 pages. I'm going to say this even though I shouldn't have to. That doesn't include if you use an abstract, which isn't required because it's too short. It doesn't include the references page. It doesn't include the cover page. I don't have to say that, right?
No.
Okay, good. Right?
Really?
I've had people, right. I've had people ask me, like, on a 3-page paper, does the cover page and the references count? Or a 2-page paper, does the cover page and the references count? Yeah, that's all you need to turn in.
Wow.
You don't need to put, I know, right? You don't need to put anything in between. That's great. I'm glad you asked. Okay. Anything else about the paper? Those are good questions. They're important questions. All right. And if you have questions about topics or anything, I'll be around all weekend. All my only plans are to go shopping for obvious reasons.
Oh my God, I still haven't done that yet.
Oh, Amazon.
I already did that and I covered Mom. That's the only one that I needed to worry that wasn't late.
They do 2-day shipping. Prime.
That's why she already got it and she's completely ecstatic because she already opened it. Silly woman.
Oh. Yeah, I've done a lot. I have a few more things to do. Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea if Amazon had a release date, like 2-day shipping, but I don't want you to ship it till Thursday, like that.
Well, I wouldn't trust it during Christmas season.
It's good Christmas. See, I wouldn't either.
It was funny because she asked me, well, what do you want for Christmas? And a day off. I just want a day off.
I know, I totally get that. Okay, all right, so this is construction revenue. So I'm wondering how many of you are kind of have started working this?
I did.
Okay, how far did you get?
I'm opening it right now. My computer's going slow. It's part 2, right?
Yes.
I got the answers. Please don't ask me how I calculated it because I can't find my Excel for it. But okay. I got stuck on question 2, and I got everything and I got all the check marks, but it's still saying it's not complete. So I'm thinking on the question 2, Rec 3A is where my problem is, but I'm not quite sure because it's all green and it still gives me well, you haven't finished this.
Okay, so Michael says he was able to finish it. So we'll go, we'll piece it together. How does that sound?
That works.
Okay, so the idea with construction, the reason it's different is because it's a long ongoing project. And because it's a long ongoing project, you're going to have expenses, right, all during it. And then, so what you want to do is you want to match the revenue with the expenses. So you are going to recognize partial revenue with those expenses as you go through the construction process. You can choose to wait until the very end and then just recognize all of the revenue all at one time. But most companies don't do that because it wouldn't even be an accurate representation, because think if you were building a building, right? And so you have no revenue for like 6 months, and then all of a sudden you have, $1 million of revenue. That doesn't really show how your business is operating. So that's why with the matching principle, we figure out some way to recognize part of the revenue as we go along. So the question then is, what methods can be used to recognize part of the revenue as we go along? Good so far?
Yes.
Okay, so, and does anybody able to talk besides Catherine? Not that I don't like Catherine talking, which I do.
No, I'm just kidding.
Karen, can you talk? Michael, are you good?
Yes.
Arian, Melissa, Hadra, Sherilyn, Divya, Mandy. I have 2 Catherines. Oh, maybe this repeat. Yeah, come on, you guys.
There's
Let's
3
go.
of us.
There's 3 of you, and there's me. Or am I the 3rd?
You might be the 3rd, but I always see 3.
I might be I'm probably the 3rd then. Okay, so assume Nortel Networks contracted to provide a customer with internet infrastructure for $2 million. So the total job is worth $2 million. I just realized I'm doing this with the pen, really stupid. The project began in 2018. It was completed in 2019. So the first thing I see there when I read that is that I've spanned years. And the reason that's significant is because it might be important to have the correct dollar amounts in each month, but it's even more important to make sure that you have the correct dollar amounts in each year. So we've been given the costs incurred during the year, the estimated cost to complete, how much we've billed during the year, and how much we've collected during the year in cash for both 2018 and 2019. All right, so the first thing we have to do is compute the amount of revenue and gross profit or loss that we're going to recognize in 2018 and 2019, assuming that Nortel recognized revenue over time according to percentage of completion. So now the question is, how do we determine percentage of completion? I mean, that's the idea of recognizing revenue based on how much is done isn't hard. What we have to know is, how do we figure out how much was done so that we can apply that percentage of the revenue? So the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out how much did we, what percentage is complete to date. So with this information that we have the costs incurred during the year, the estimated cost to finish the project, and the billings and the cash collected. What am I going to use to figure out what percentage have I completed each year?
The billing during the year?
The billings during the year?
The titles are going to be actual cost to date and estimated costs.
Right. Okay, because here's what we're thinking. Okay, here's the idea behind it. So if we know how much it's going to take to finish the job, right? So we know that it's going to cost $1,200,000 to do the whole job. So if in 2018 we've already incurred $300,000 worth of costs, doesn't that mean that if we are looking at costs, we've already incurred $300,000 worth of costs? So whatever percentage that is of the total amount of costs that it's going to incur, couldn't that be one way to estimate what percentage is complete?
Yes.
So numerator So what are we going to put on top then to figure out the percentage?
Actual cost today.
So the cost incur actual cost to date, and on the bottom,
Estimated total cost.
all right, so now there's nothing that goes there, right? So now for 2018, we're just filling in the numbers. So for 2018, the actual costs were 300,000. And for 2019, the actual costs were 1,575,000.
875,000.
Not on mine. Your numbers are different than mine.
Hold on. No, it says it's correct. If it's 1875, I might.
No, it's because it's cost to date.
Oh, because we have to add them together. Wait, no. Costs incurred during the year.
Yes, because you're adding them together. I agree with Michael. So you're adding the 300,000 to the 1575.
Yes, because it's percentage complete at the end. Because at the end of 2018, it's all at 2019, we're already done. So 1,875,000. So now the estimated cost to complete, well, that's going to be 1,575,000.
1,500,000.
So I need to use my calculator. Would be helpful then.
Because
So you
it's
got
20% of the complete today.
well, okay, but the
I
estimate.
can't find my Excel. I don't know what happened with it when I.
I'm not reading. Estimated cost to complete 1,200,000.
That number is actually 1,500,000.
It's actual plus.
Oh, because I have to add it together again. Right. Okay. So what we have is we've incurred $300,000 in a project that we anticipate is going to cost us $1,500,000. So that means that we've already paid 20% of the expenses. So that's one way to estimate that we're 20% done. And then in 2019, we've incurred a total, because we're looking at the whole project, right? Not just the year. We're looking at what percentage of the entire project did we finish. So we've incurred basically all of our costs. And what is our estimated cost to complete then?
Same as the actual.
Same as the actual, right? And where's the actual?
1,875,000. It's the same one as the numerator number.
Yeah, and we didn't, because we finished the job. I was looking to see where that was written somewhere. So now we finished the job. Okay, so what we're trying to see is how much revenue, and by the way, this wouldn't just, in the real world, okay, this wouldn't just be done at the end of the year. This would be done monthly or quarterly, however the company chooses to do it. So it gets a little bit more complicated, but the concept's the same. All right, so in 2018, we did 20% of the job. In 2019, we finished the job. So we want to recognize 20% of the revenue in 2018, and then the last 80% in 2019. All right, are we good with how we estimated the percentage?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to look at construction revenue to date. So in the first year, that's easy because that's going to be our billings during the year. Yes, our billings during the year. So that year we did 300,000. Is that what you guys have?
400,000 for construction revenue.
Where are you getting 400,000?
I lost my Excel. I feel like I should be fired.
No. You just went.
Apparently, I didn't save it this morning because I was thinking half on the I tried to do this homework assignment and then I woke up early to try to knock some
Wait a
stuff
minute.
out. So, granted it's 3:30 in the morning, but I didn't save my Excel apparently.
Did you have 384,000?
No, it's 400.
The first, yeah, I got 400.
Okay, how'd you get 400?
I leave that to Michael because I don't know where my
Michael, how'd you get 400?
That's the revenue based on the completion percentage.
So we completed 20%, and what did you multiply it by? What? 2 million
The 2 million total.
Yeah. Times 0.2. So, okay, so the first thing we did was we figured out what percent was complete. I forgot about that revenue up there. The whole job for us is going to be $2 million. So if we have incurred 20% of the expenses, we want to recognize 20% of the revenue. So we have the $2 million times 20%. So we're going to recognize $400,000 worth of revenue in 2018. Does that make sense?
Yes.
To anybody else?
Yes.
Okay, now let's look at the expenses. Costs incurred during the year. So we incurred $300,000 worth of costs during the year. Do you agree that 300,000 goes here?
Yes.
So now we're figuring out our gross profit. So how do I get gross profit?
You subtract the 300 from the 400.
Right. So my gross profit for so far for 2018 is 100,000. Now, recognized in prior years, did we recognize any construction expense in prior years for this project?
No.
No. And did we have any profit or loss for this project in prior years?
No.
No. All right, so that's 2018. So now for 2019, we've finished the job in 2019. So what is my construction revenue going to be? My entire job is worth $2 million. How much is my revenue going to be?
2 million.
2 million.
It's going to be $2 million. I didn't put enough zeros. And how much did I recognize in a prior year?
400,000, which is above.
Do I have to put a negative in this?
No.
Okay.
It actually calculates it like it's supposed to.
Okay.
Shopping
All right.
shots.
I know. And we're going to do the same thing with the construction expense. So costs incurred during the year. Did you put 1575 there or 1875? Yeah. So we're going to do the total cost, 1875,000. And then what costs were incurred in 2018?
300,000.
Yep. So we figured out 2018, and 2019 is everything that's left. So my gross profit.
125.
No, can't do that. What is it?
125,000.
Wish they'd let me use Excel formulas.
Right.
And, oh wait, I got this one. Okay. So on our balance sheet for 2018, on our income statement for 2018, we would recognize $400,000 in revenue and $300,000 in expense. And on our income statement for 2019, we would recognize $2 million in revenue and $1,875 in expenses. So we'd have $125,000 for gross profit for those 2 years. And together, that makes up the $2 million. All right, are we good here?
Yes.
Let's go on to requirement 2. All right, so now we're talking about just revenue and gross profit. But I was going to say it can't be the same because we just did that. Compute the amount of revenue and gross profit or loss to be recognized in 2018 and 2019, assuming the project does not qualify for revenue recognition over time. Okay, if it doesn't qualify for revenue recognition over time, what are we going to do with 2018?
0.
0, because if we can't recognize it over time, when are we going to recognize it?
2019.
We're going to recognize it all at the end of the project. So at the end of the project, what's my revenue for 2019?
2 million.
And for my gross, oh, they didn't even have us put expenses there. So what were my total expenses?
Gross profit or loss is going to be the 125 from the previous one.
Okay, the total. So then that's the next thing I was going to point out. So the total gross profit doesn't change. It's just how we divide it up. All right, does that make sense? I just muted you, Catherine. Okay.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. My fan's going in the background.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. So are we good with 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at 3. So now we just want to do the partial balance sheet to show the information related to this contract that would be presented at 2018, assuming Nortel recognizes revenue over time according to the percentage of completion. Okay, so far all we've looked at is the income statement, which I'm guessing is going to be a requirement 4. Nope, still balance sheet. So we've looked at the income statement when we do the gross profit. Now we're going to look at the balance sheet. So we want to know current assets and current liabilities. So how do I figure out what assets are related to this project? What are the billings during the year? What do those equate to? If I bill somebody, what do I record?
I have accounts receivable at 130,000.
Exactly, because if I bill somebody, I have accounts receivable, right? So we actually have cash coming in and accounts receivable. So what was your amount for accounts receivable?
130.
And you got that because billings minus cash collected.
Yes. That sounds good. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit wrecked today.
That's okay. I've had one of those days too. It's okay. You deserve it, Catherine.
It's been 13-hour days all day this week.
I know.
Except for today, I actually only reached 12 hours. So my brain's just, it's numbers, yay.
I've been there. It's one of the reasons I teach now. I totally get it. But I think that you learn more there than I could ever give you in class.
Well, and as I tell my boss when I have to leave at 5, which he's not unhappy about it, but because he knows what's going on, which thankfully they reimburse me on tuition, which is fantastic. But I tell him all the time, I haven't had enough accounting for today, so I'm going to go home and do more.
Okay, so accounts receivable. So we billed 380,000 and we collected 250,000. So actually, I think accounts receivable needs to go down here. So what's the other asset that we have?
Cost and profit in excess of billings.
Do they have you do cash at all?
No.
No.
Oh.
It's literally just the cost and profit excess.
Oh, they're only looking at, okay.
And it's 20,000.
Okay, so what did you just say?
20,000.
20,000, and what kind of account is that?
Asset.
And so we're saying that so this can be either an asset or a liability. In this case, we have, what did you say, Billings?
Cost and profit in excess of billings. Down a little bit.
There we go. Okay, so see there's a cost and profit in excess of billings, and then there's also billings in excess of cost. So we can have an asset or a liability here. So what happens with cost and profits in excess of billing is, how did you get the number for that?
Oh God, I don't remember.
Michael? Michael?
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to look at it.
Oh, okay. So the cost. Do I need to flip back for the profits, the gross profit? Let me flip back for the profit. 200,000. Gross 125,000.
I think it's the cost plus the
Yeah, the
GP.
title kind of gives it to you.
Cost plus GP minus billings.
Right, the title kind of gives it to you. Do you get 45,000 when you do that?
20,000.
What did I do? You get 20,000? I probably had something in my calculator.
What was the GP?
100 and,
Yeah,
I flipped back and it was 125,000. Okay, because I flipped back here, it was 125,000. Oh, that was 2019. How did I get away with that working then? Oh, estimated cost to complete. What should this be? We did something wrong there. Actual costs.
It's estimated total cost.
Oh, gotcha, which is what we actually put. Okay. Oh God, I'm like moving problems, so sorry. Instead of tabs on the one I'm on. Okay. All right, so we have our accounts receivable, cash and profit in excess of billings. Now, what else do we have? So do we understand what cost and profit in excess of billings is? What we're saying there is that we have recognized, here's our cost and the profit that we've built in, minus what we've billed. So we actually have $20,000 more that we're expecting to get in the future that we haven't recognized yet. Does that make sense? We haven't billed for everything. There's still $20,000 that we've completed so far that we haven't billed for. And the reason this happens is because we don't bill by percentage of completion. We bill by, a regular, like, here's the amount we're going to bill each period, regardless of how much we've completed. That's why there's a discrepancy. And so it's an asset because we've exceeded, we've done more than what we've billed. So in the future, we have $20,000 that we're going to bill, and we've already done that work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so what else goes on here? Do we have any liabilities?
No.
I don't think so either. Wait, did we have to total that or anything?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so, oddly. See, how are we supposed to know that? Sometimes there's a heading we're supposed to, or a total we're supposed to put in there, and now there's not.
I always just put zeros in the blank cells to make sure that I've covered all my bases.
And does that work?
Yes.
Well, it does
Typical
on some of
college-
them. On some
If
it's the
it's a
opposite.
0 and it's supposed to be blank, it'll give you a green check mark.
That is actually very good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, but this book is drunk.
I struggled a little bit too because there's some spots where you're like, there should be something there, but there's really not.
No, you're right. Okay. All right, so now let's prepare a partial balance sheet to show the information related to this contract at the end of 2018, assuming that we don't recognize revenue over time. So now, what's our asset or liability?
Receivable is still 130,000.
What is still?
Accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable.
Oh, return to question. Yeah, because accounts receivable isn't going to change. Oh, because we're still in 2018, I see. Anything else?
Liabilities.
Which is?
Billings in excess of cost.
Yep, because we're not recognizing anything yet.
80,000.
So 80,000. So let's look at how we got that. So here we billed 380,000 and we collected 250,000. So that's our liability. Billings and no, we billed 380,000 and we had costs of 300,000. So here what we're saying is we've only had costs of 300,000, but we've billed out 380,000. So we're going to incur costs in the future that we can't bill for. That's why it's a liability. All right, are we good here?
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you, I mean, percentage of completion isn't that tricky when you understand it, but there's a lot of pieces to think about, but this is a really good roadmap for how to do it. Okay, can we go on to the next question?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, journal entries, goody goody. All right, so we're still doing percentage of completion, but now we have 3 years. So our beginning here isn't any different. Do you remember what we put in the numerator?
Actual cost to date.
Yep. And do you remember what we put in the denominator?
Estimated total cost.
All right. So 2018, oh, they didn't give it to us in a nice little table. Okay, so one of the things I'm doing here is I'm going to write this down so that I can see because it's not in a nice little table. So on February 1st, 2018, Aero Construction Company entered into a 3-year construction project to build a bridge for a price of $8 million. So that's my, $8 million is my price. During 2018, costs of $2 million were incurred, with estimated costs to complete of $4 million. So that means we plan for the whole project to cost $6 million, right?
Yes.
Okay. Billings of, so billing of 2,500,000 and cash of 2,250,000. Okay. All right, so for 2018, my actual cost to date was how much?
2 million.
2 million. And since I know how to find them now, where were my actual costs for 2019?
4.5 million.
And why is that not just right? Oopsie. That won't work, will it? 225 plus 2, 2 million, 4,500,000. So we added the total cost for 2018 and 2019 together. Then what happened in 2020? Why is 2020 here?
Well, you leave it blank anyway.
Because nothing's happened, no costs are incurred or anything, right? It doesn't, oh, the project was completed in 2020 after additional costs of $3,800,000 were incurred. So what are my actual costs to date in 2020?
Nothing. You can't fill it in. It won't let you choose it.
Oh, I see that.
Because
Okay,
that,
so my,
that section's only for percentage of completion, so they don't bother.
oh, gotcha, and it's already fully complete. Okay, so for 2018, my estimated total costs are what?
6 million.
And we got that,
8 million minus 2 million.
right. And then for 2019, how much do I have left to finish? My total cost, oh yeah, 6 million minus,
8.1 million.
oh, because I added up the total cost for 1 year. This is why I like to write everything down in a table.
Why I keep trying to save my Excel sheet so that I have it for
Right?
when.
See, I would do it in Excel too. So in 2018, we finished 33% of the job. In 2019, we finished 55%. And in 2020, it was completely done. All right, so we should be getting a little bit used to that because we just did it. Now we want to figure out the construction revenue. So how much construction revenue do we have for 2018?
2,666,667.
Okay, and we got that by doing
Percentage from, I remember doing a percentage on that.
right. You're going to multiply it by 33.333333333%.
So it ends up 2 5 6s and a 7. You're off by 1.
Oh, I am. There we go. Better?
Yep.
And we didn't recognize anything in prior years because it's the first year.
Yes.
Okay, now what about construction expense in 2018?
2 million.
Because that was given to us, that we had incurred a cost of 2 million. So for revenue, we figured out what percentage, but then we know how much cost we incurred. So 66667. And no costs in prior years. And no gross profit in prior years. Okay, does 2018 make sense?
Yes.
To anybody but you?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, Michael, how you doing? You said you finished this one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Catherine, are you good? You don't have a mic. Okay. So now let's look at 2019. So now we have how much construction revenue in 2019? Well, what was the total revenue?
You can move the recognized in prior years from the one up above.
Oh, I can't I?
Yep. And that fills all 3 of those in.
It doesn't. Okay, so how much construction revenue are we going to recognize in 2019? What's the total revenue for the project?
It's going to be a lot of 4s.
Oh, 8 million. It's going to be a lot of 4s.
Type 7 4s.
Wait, 5? What did you say?
You moved up.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
7 4s.
Okay, and how did you get that? 8 million times 0.5555556 is how you did it. So the job is going to incur, we're going to get $8 million from it. Didn't mean to highlight the whole thing, but right. We're going to get $8 million from it. So in 2018, we finished 33%. So it's going to be 8 million times 33% is our revenue. In 2019, we're going to recognize 8 million times 55%. And that's where we got the 4,444,000. So now, how much expenses have we incurred?
4.5 and then 6 fours. And I will
Nope.
make sure I save my Excel.
Wait, that's too many.
Yeah, that's too many fours at the end. 5 fours, sorry.
Okay. Oh, wait, so we have a negative, we have a loss?
Yep, negative 100,000.
Do I have to put a negative here?
Yep.
Okay.
I promise to save my Excel later.
That's okay. You went through a whole close. You are good. You get a free pass for everything, Catherine.
I don't know about that. I don't feel comfortable with that.
Okay, you still have to learn it and you still have to contribute, but I totally understand where your head is at. Okay, so in 2020, now we can do recognized in prior years again. Wait a minute.
Yes.
But I have to add them together.
Well, no. The recognized in prior year will be
the to date.
2019.
Large numbers. Well, I guess with construction they would be. And I did one too many zeros. There we go. All right, so now construction revenue to date.
8 million.
Right, because the project is done, right?
Yes.
And our construction expense, the total expense is what?
8.3.
Which we are given.
Do it as a negative. Or no, it's not a negative.
Right, but this is though.
300,000.
So each year what you do is you take, okay, what's left? The whole big picture. And then here's our piece of it. And so in the last year we're saying, okay, this is what everything cost. This is what we've already recognized. So we'll recognize all the rest in 2020. All right, how do you feel about this?
Good.
Oh, prepare the journal entries for 2018 to record the transactions described. What, oh, these transactions. Credit various accounts for construction costs incurred. What transaction? I guess we want to recognize.
If you click the journal entry area, it'll pop it all up.
Oh, well, there's my problem. I didn't go back to the question. That's why.
Gotta love technology.
I know, right? I mean, it is really awesome.
It
There we
is,
go.
but it's annoying too.
I know. Okay, so we want to record, that's better. We want to record construction costs. Okay, so let's go for 2018. So let's go back here. How much were our construction costs for 2018?
2 million.
2 million. So what am I going to do to record construction costs?
CIP for your debit, various accounts for your credit.
What do we say, 2 million?
Yep.
And here they want various, credit various account. Oh, I got it. Okay.
They're not going to have you break it down.
Right. All the different ones. Yeah. I see. Now you understand there's not actually various accounts. We're just saying we would credit a lot of different expenses here.
I would so love a various accounts.
I know, wouldn't you? Hey, that's okay. I had an accountant one time that set up a folder for accounts payable. I said, like, put this in accounts payable, and she set up a folder with all of the accounts payable folders that said AP and started filing stuff in there. She also set up a folder for depreciation.
I'm actually having that issue because the lady that runs our accounts payable is a little bit older, and I can't be mad at her because of how her last two previous bosses were. But she didn't understand when I said, well, what period are you posting that invoice to? So I actually had to sit down and explain to her periods and how she needs to know these things.
Oh, I've worked a lot of places, even really large companies where like the accounts payable person doesn't know what they're doing. They do their job just fine. They code the invoices, they put them in, they manage the accounts payable, they print all the checks, but they don't understand they're building the income statement.
Yeah, she's doing all the data entry and she thinks it's only that.
Right. That's really common. Some companies don't even want them to understand.
Oh, well, she's going to have a nice little education because
Right, it's good. She'll like her job more.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, she will. Record the progress billing. So now we have to go back and we have to say, okay, what did we bill in 2018? Yeah, see, you saw that problem. It's a common problem. I mean, I had it more than once. Okay, so we want to look back here. What did we bill in 2018? In 2018,
2.5 million to accounts
that's not even,
receivable.
okay, that's in the information. It's not even here. So we billed 2.5 million. So what's my debit going to be?
Accounts receivable.
Because that's what we billed. So we hope to collect $2,500,000. And what's going to be my credit?
Billings on construction contract.
Okay. Now we've recorded our billings. Now we want to record the cash that we've received. So the debit's going to be cash. What did we receive from our billing?
2.25 million.
And they gave us that. And then what's my credit going to be?
Accounts receivable.
Right. So we're going to take that out of our, oops, this was wrong. It's 2.25
million.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've received what we collected in cash. And now the gross profit. So we have to look back here to see what the gross profit was. So for 2018, the gross profit is 666,667.
Yes. Construction in progress for debit.
Because this is construction in progress. And then what's this?
It's going to be your cost of construction, which is the 2 million above. Well, debit of 2 million on.
Wait a minute. What am I doing?
Cost of construction, a debit of 2 million.
Oh, to get to gross profit.
It looks like it's moving it from the various accounts.
Yeah, to get to gross profit. There we go. And that was 2 million.
Yeah.
And then we have
revenue from long-term contracts for your.
because there's a lot of it. There we go. For and oh, but I didn't post it. Oh, I didn't post this one. Wait, what happened on my progress billings?
Number 2 is accounts receivable.
I must not have saved it. What was it, 2 million?
2.5.
2.5.
Billings
That's
on
what I'm saying.
construction contract for your credit.
Yeah, I must have somehow not, oh crap, I didn't record the other one either. Let's do this, record entry, there we go. Record entry. Record entry. Okay, record the expected loss.
No
So-
journal entry required.
What?
No journal entry
Oh,
required.
and why is no journal entry required?
First year.
And because it's an expected loss. Have we incurred a loss yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're not there yet. We don't know yet. I mean, this is just like, oh shoot, I think we might have a loss on this contract. Okay, so there's our journal entries for the whole process. So now we want to do a partial balance sheet. And what are we going to do here? Also a partial balance sheet. So this is the balance sheet for 2018. So we know one asset is accounts receivable. But now we have to know how much is left in accounts receivable, right?
So I actually got on the 3A, I put accounts receivable and asset for 250,000.
Crap, I'm trying to get back. Hold on. I was trying to pull up the other thing. Okay, so you did what?
Accounts receivable for 250,000.
Okay,
And I did cost and profit in excess of billings for 166,667 in assets.
right? Because that's, hold on, let me find this account. There we go.
And apparently I got that right with Catherine's little zero cheat method. I was wrong on that being the one that's off, which is driving me crazy.
Oh,
At it.
okay, so let's look at 3. So for 2019, how much is left in a,
Okay, and I got the balance sheet right on 3B too.
in 2019, what is left with accounts receivable?
Accounts receivable 525,000.
And that you'd have to lose by looking at what was in a receivable and what we collected.
And then liabilities is billings in excess of cost less loss,
Because we know we have a loss.
850,000.
So are you saying without putting the zeros in, it said it wasn't complete?
The zeros, I put the zeros in and it says everything's right. And 2B says everything's right. And 2A says everything's
You're
right.
saying.
I'm
Whoa.
confused.
Okay, go back and look at your journal entries because this is not correct.
Ooh, I think I found it.
Accounts receivable isn't the same both years.
No, that's not it.
That's the problem. Do a T account. You guys go back and do a T account. Let's look at accounts receivable. I don't want the
My guess
transaction.
is it's probably part 5 of 2B.
Yeah, hold on. So I want, there we go, view general journal. No, I want all of them.
Oh, for some reason, my gross profit on number 4 went away. That's why.
Ah, there you go. I wonder what happened to that.
Apparently, I
Okay,
didn't.
here we are. So if in 2019, oh wait, why do we have all,
You're on, go to, yeah, 2B.
no, we did something wacky here.
Click it. What's 4 again?
Well, this isn't the construction costs.
No, that one's fine. Click number 4.
What did I do? I must have been when I went back and tried to refill them in again. No, because accounts receivable and billings on contract isn't correct. It had to be when I went back and filled them in again after we did them.
Yeah. To
I
be
probably got off somewhere.
accounts receivable. What was the number on that one?
Let me go back. Okay, so because accounts receivable and billings on contract, that's not construction costs. We have the cost right, but we didn't, I put the wrong titles in. So when I'm recording construction costs, what is going to be my debit?
Construction in progress.
And what's going to be my credit?
Various accounts.
Right. See, we had that first.
I know yours got mine moved
Oh, no, what
too.
happened? We had that first.
Yeah.
I'm going to record the entry. I'm going to view the journal entry. Because that's what we did first.
Apparently mine moved too.
Okay, and then, so I'm going to go back to transaction list. So in the progress billings, we have the numbers correct, but the titles are wrong.
And they
So
moved.
wait, the titles are right, the numbers are wrong. So what was my accounts, because I don't know what happened here. We had this right. What was accounts receivable?
2.75 million.
Yeah, we had this. What the heck happened? I must not have saved them correctly. I'm just going to record the entry each time as I go, and I'm going to make sure it's in the general journal. Okay. And then the next one, yeah, because my numbers are all the same. That's weird. Okay, so number 3 is cash and accounts receivable. But how much cash did we receive? Because this number's wrong. It's the same as all the other ones somehow.
2,475,000.
That's
Oh, I see what happened. So for
What did
some
I do?
reason, your 2A got copied into 2B.
Oh, because I'm like, how is everything the same?
Because those are all the 2A numbers.
Am I screwing it up right now?
Move up.
No, but number 4.
Yeah, you're in 2B. For some reason, your 2B is 2A numbers. So we didn't do that one for 2019. Oh,
Okay.
you put your 2A numbers in 2B.
Okay. Accounts receivable.
2A is going to be construction in progress for the first one, various accounts for 2 million. That's why it was showing as your numbers wrong.
Just tell me what to put so I can get past this.
Various.
Various, that's right. We can go on to the
No.
next one.
No,
Or how
that's not right.
Oh, that's the second one. Accounts receivable, billings, and construction.
you're right.
Sorry.
Accounts receivable. No, it's my fault because I was flipping around.
Billings and construction contract.
Yeah.
Up. There you go. 2.5.
Right, that's the
3 is
report entry. Wait, I'm going to go back and look at 1. Is the 2 million right for this one?
yes.
Okay. 3.
3 is cash and accounts receivable, 2.25 million. The fourth one, construction in progress.
I recorded this. Why is it there?
Oh, 5 is no general entry needed.
Right, okay. And we're only on 2. Wait. Oh, because
That was too many zeros.
yeah, too many zeros. Okay, so word entry. So now we're on requirement 2B. And
We've got the numbers correct on the first 3. I'm not sure on 4 because apparently I didn't save mine.
I'm confused as to where we are now. Okay, so requirement 1, requirement, oh, we're almost done. Oh, because I went back and started filling them in and then we stopped on this one.
Yeah.
Because we're like, wait, we need to be on 2. Okay, so on 3, no, on 2, the whole thing's wrong. Okay, so let's go look and see what we're supposed to do on 2019. We're on 3. We're on 2.
We're on 2B.
And this
And
is
number 4.
record the expected loss.
Well, number 4 was wrong. The first 3 are correct.
Oh, we didn't do 5. Okay, you're right.
4 and
So,
5.
So those are the
Okay.
answers for 2A, number 4, instead of 2B, number 4.
2B number 4 is no entry required.
to be number 4.
Yes, it is. I just gotta, now my question is complete. So apparently I didn't do the drop down for no journal entry on number 4.
Oh, I need to go back and do that too then.
Yeah, and then just remove the dollars.
So that was on,
4.
oh, it says no transaction recorded.
Yeah.
I didn't put that there though.
No,
Okay.
it assumed it. There you
Okay.
go.
So
You need
now,
to get rid of 4.
right. All right, so what are we gonna do about gross profit?
Nothing. It's no no journal entry required. And then just remove everything else.
Kelton, can you please turn off your phone while you're down here? And then we just have 5, correct?
Yes.
Record the expected loss. Oh yeah, because 4 was record the gross profit. Okay, record the expected loss.
Cost of construction, 2544000.
2544000.
Revenue as a credit. Revenue long-term contracts. 1777333. And construction in progress. 766667.
Oh, that's wild. Is that right?
I got all checks on everything.
No, I mean 7666667. Did I put it in right?
Yes.
Why is it not recording the entry?
Probably because you're at the end one. Hit check my work.
Wait.
Oh, 2B.
2B5. 2B.
It's cost of construction, not construction in progress.
Right. Because we're doing the loss. Wait, did I do that one? That one? That one? That one. Yay! Let's take a break.
Alrighty.
I was only Wait, did we finish? We finished that one, right?
Technically, no.
Wait, what happened?
On 2A, your number 4 is not filled out.
It is no transaction. Wait,
Oh, her 5 isn't
Instructions
fixed.
are journal entry required.
what?
The 5 got, your 5 got mixed. Click it and you'll see 5 pop up.
Yep. Record the expected loss. Thank you.
Oh, no. I don't know why you didn't, because I got 2A says, if you put no journal entry required in 4, you're fine.
Well, did it say that it wasn't done?
2A, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, it says answer is not complete. He's right.
2A.
So you put the answers into 2B instead of 2A the first time around?
And then I never put it back into 2A.
Right.
Oh, I see. So we have cost of construction for how much?
No, number 5 is loss, which we
Oh, the
don't have.
expected loss. We don't have a loss.
So it's part 4 that you need to fill out. So this one should be no journal entry
Right,
required.
that's what I was just going to say. This should be no journal. What do you mean it's part 4 I have to fill out?
How
Because
is
right
it
now-
on 2A that you have 5 slots? Because I don't.
Oh, I don't have no journal entry here. You don't have 5 slots on 2A?
I don't. I have 4.
Okay, what's the gross profit here? Okay, that's weird. Are you sure?
No journal entry required. I don't have.
Okay, that's just weird.
Can I
Yeah,
show
there is
you? Can
no
I do a
entry
share?
required for number 4.
Can I do a share?
Yeah. Hold on. Go ahead and share. Do you know how? Hover your mouse down over the bottom of the screen and you'll see a green box in the middle that says share. Click on that and then you have to click on the desktop where it is or the, and then click on share again toward the bottom right. There you go.
Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Sorry.
That's okay. I love you guys learning this because you can use this to work together.
Okay, so
You have 5.
I had 5. Okay, so the cost of construction in progress, and that one was 4.
Yeah, it's like there's no way ours are different.
I think you missed 4, and 5 is no journal entry required.
Right.
Because I got.
Yep.
Oh, I need to remove the 0, but.
Oh, because there's no journal entry. See, that's funny. On the other one, you could enter zeros anywhere and it didn't matter. Here, if you enter it, they think that it's a number.
Funny as it is, I still get the answers complete and correct. So I imagine
Okay.
they're not going to do it.
So that's a little weird. Okay. I'll go back. I love you guys learning how to share the screen. You learn how to share in kindergarten. Okay, so
Awesome.
you got to take naps.
Right?
Okay, construction in progress.
Cookies.
I know, right?
They
Snacks.
brought over cookies from Doubletree where we're having our Christmas party. And I'm gonna tell you, that was phenomenal. I only had one. I'm not a big sweets person, but that cookie was fantastic.
You got to take naps and you got recess.
I just like to go out and play. I don't need a nap.
I'm missing a number here on construction in progress. I wrote it down.
Okay,
don't-
so construction in progress is going to be 5 6s and a 7 on debit.
Okay, I knew I missed.
Cost of construction is 2 million on debit.
Well, that's
then-
why.
Revenue from long-term contracts is them added together.
I can't read. Revenue, 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 revenue. God, there's so many accounts. Why can't they just put the ones we need?
Right?
I mean, it just takes so long to scroll through them.
They're trying to be tricky.
I know. You don't need tricky with this. I mean, it's hard enough without tricky.
Right?
Yeah. What?
Oh,
I
the
did not.
5 goes into 4 and the 4 goes into 5. That's the
Okay.
only difference, and then you'll get that correct thing. So
Okay, you know what? I'm just
they're
gonna do
changing it.
and take a break, because if I don't do it, it's a bad example. I'm a bad teacher. And I don't want to be a bad teacher. Just, I got so,
The
I
way
got,
this is formatted drives me crazy sometimes because when
Yeah,
you get out
I
of the
know
problem,
what
it
you're
takes
saying.
you back to 1.
right, that's why I got off all the way.
2 million.
Yeah.
Revenue from loss. Revenue from.
Long term.
They don't even name their accounts right.
Oh, and then here,
No journal entry.
yeah.
I've never seen anybody name their accounts that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, finally. After getting off on tabs, this is why I like printing stuff out.
I just use it in Excel. It's just easier.
Yeah, I would use Excel, and then you can do formulas.
I love formulas.
I do too. Okay, so here's a nice thing. This is basically the same thing. We're going to do the same thing again. But this one doesn't qualify for revenue recognition. So let's take a break, 10-minute break, come back, and we'll do this one. And there's no quiz this week. Isn't that awesome?
You are fantastic for that.
It's not mine. I didn't develop this course.
You can have credit for it.
Thank you. There's lots of courses I do develop, and I figure I get to take the credit when it works, and when it doesn't work, then, well, I get that too. So this one I'll give credit to whoever developed it.
It evens out over time, but yeah.
All right, 10 minutes. I'm going to mute, but I'm going to go make a sandwich, and I will be right back. I'm going to mute when I remember how. There we Are you back?
Yep.
Okay, so this one, so the other one, we're trying to figure out as we go along, how do we record, portions of it. So now with this one, we're only looking at, says it doesn't qualify for revenue recognition over time. So in 2018, what revenue are we going to recognize?
0.
0, because and obviously that means no gross profit. What about 2019?
0.
Yep. And so 2020 is all of the revenue. So what was the total revenue? 8 million?
8 million.
And what was the total cost?
2019 is negative 100,000. 2020 is negative 200,000.
Wait, what?
Negative.
No.
Negative.
Oh, we're not putting on costs, we're putting it on gross profit,
Yeah.
which we already calculated. So what's the total gross profit you said?
2019 is negative 100,000.
Wait, 2019 is negative 100,000 and 2020 is negative
200.
for our 300,000. Not taking any chances now on getting off. Getting too close to going to bed.
Right.
Okay, so it's a lot easier when you don't do percentage of completion, but most companies do for construction because it makes sense. All right, requirement 2A, prepare the journal entries for 2018 to record the transactions described. Same as before. Return to question.
First one is construction in progress, debit to 2 million.
Record construction costs. So in 2018, so we still have costs in 2018 we have to record.
2 million.
So construction in progress, so that's what we've done so far.
Various accounts.
And then we're going to record our various expenses, which would be actually a list of all the expenses, the labor, the materials, is what we would really have here.
Guess what I get to do tomorrow?
What?
The journal entry for the construction in progress.
Are you kidding me?
Boeing invested for us to have, they've invested $1 million for us to have a new machine to increase the parts section for the Apache helicopter. So we got recorded the first cash deposit 2 months ago that we didn't itemize. It went into a liability count for advance.
Right.
And they're getting ready to pay the last half of the agreement, which is supposed to go in, but then I have to journal entry it from there into the various accounts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we want to record the progress billing. So what did we bill in December? I mean, in 2018. What?
Accounts receivable,
For how much? What did we bill?
2.5.
Oh yeah, 2.5. So here's, because we're going to bill for the costs that we incurred. And
Billings on construction contract.
so what we're looking at here, because we're only doing percentage, we're not doing percentage anymore, is if we go up here and we look at 2018, we actually, 2018, we actually incurred costs of $2,500,000, and we got cash of $2,250,000. So here's our accounts receivable, 2 million, because we're just going to bill for what actually. Okay, so that's, now we have cash collections. We collected
Cash 2.25.
oh, in 2019. So we collected cash of 2.25. 2.25?
Yep.
And cash collection, accounts receivable. Record the expected loss
No journal entry required.
because we're not doing anything until the end. Well, that's encouraging. Now we'll move on to 2B so I don't mess the tabs up. Okay, so now we're in 2019 and we want to record the construction cost for 2019. Costs incurred were $2,500,000. So what am I going to put here for construction costs?
CIP,
For how much? What did I just say?
2.5.
And
Various accounts.
for all my expenses. Where'd it go? Wait, where? Okay, now we want to record the progress billings for 2019. So we billed
Full for 27500.
right here. Yeah, the billings were 2,750,000. What's my account title?
Accounts receivable.
Because we're billing. God. And what's my credit?
Billings.
Billings on construction contract.
Yay! Okay, we want to record the cash collection. So I collected 2,475,000. So I collected cash. And what do I reduce?
Accounts receivable.
Yep, see, that one was easy. And now we want to record the expected loss. Do we record an expected loss in 2019?
Yes.
Yes, because it ends in 2019. So what's my first account?
Loss on long-term contract.
And how much was my loss?
100,000.
We could go back and look at that. And what's my credit?
Construction in progress.
Actually, is this still a debit?
No, it's a credit.
Okay. What's my construction in progress?
100,000.
Record entry. Oh, it's like, where's my checks? And back to our balance sheets. Okay, so if we are recognizing everything at the end of the contract, what are my current assets?
Accounts receivable.
Yep, how much is left?
250.
And what's the next one?
Liabilities.
Yep.
Billing in excess of costs.
Yep, for how much?
500,000.
And for, that was 2018. Now 2019, we actually finish everything. So what are my assets?
Accounts receivable.
How much is left?
525.
And
Liability, billings in excess of cost less loss,
yep, for how much?
850.
All right, so you don't have to do a quiz this week. This isn't going to be tested any more heavily on the final exam, and we'll do a complete review for it. So how do you feel about percentage of completion? Like it takes some work, right?
Crazy, but it takes a lot of work.
It does take a lot of work. But are you starting to feel like the thought process makes sense, is more, what happened to that, is more repetitive?
Considering I worked on one of my last jobs, I was in a industrial construction company. I really wish they explained a little bit more, because then it would have made more sense.
Right. Yeah. If you had no experience with it and you were just working with it, you would feel like you'd be looking back at what they did before and trying to just copy it, but it would be hard to understand it.
Yes, which is pretty much, I got the mechanical down, but I didn't understand what it was doing.
So even though that's been a little while, does this help? Can you, applying that knowledge, does it start to make more sense?
It does, especially with seeing it actually happening in real life, because I'm sorry, the book is completely spastic, but it helps with the general stuff, the basic general thing, to get a better idea. So when I'm seeing it as it happens on my current financials, it makes more sense, because I'm a very visual person, so it makes more sense as I'm seeing it.
How do the rest of you feel about the textbook?
The textbook's fine. It's just the problems, though, are a little. It's not even about doing the math and understanding the concepts. A lot of times, trying to figure out what they're looking for.
Okay, so understanding what you're supposed to do with the problem.
Yeah, like
As
even
far as
just
the
how they want it filled out.
Right, as far as the formatting, not the concepts. Okay.
Right.
Did you use this in 601?
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same or is it different in this class?
It's pretty much the same, except I have noticed in the last couple of practice problems and homework problems that they're adding more concepts that aren't necessarily exemplified in the book. Like it's going beyond.
Okay, I'm going to look at that. How do the rest of you feel? What are your observations? Because we're redeveloping courses, so what are your observations?
I actually have to agree with Michael. It seems more trying to figure out what the book's trying to have you do, where you end up focusing more on how to do those problems versus actually thinking more about the concept, because then you're worried about, well, do you have to put a negative here? Do you have to put this other title over here just to get the question right? And you're not worried as much on the concept with the formula to get it to where it needs to go.
I completely agree with that too.
Yeah, me too.
And this is the second class you've taken with this kind of technology. Raquel.
I did my bachelor's degree national, so kind of the same formatting with some of the accounting classes that I took. It just takes some getting used to. I mean, I've taken, I want to say 4 or 5 classes using similar LearnSmart modules. So I, like when I added the zero, that was just for me kind of messing around with it to try to figure out.
And I really hate that chick that pops up on LearnSmart that sits there and says, well, you need to read more. And it's just, shut up.
Yeah.
But I will say I took national when we didn't have this LearnSmart for my bachelor's. I guess it was on the older format.
Mm-hmm.
And actually having the physical book, and I got a lot more from the classes because we were actually focused more on content and understanding, and the professors brought their own things that they've put on YouTube for different things, which I've still used over the years, even after I've left.
Right.
Yeah, our homework problems were on Excel.
Right.
It makes more sense because we actually use that in real life instead of clicking through on a bunch of stuff,
So, yeah.
where I'm not going to keep most of that in my head as I'm going ahead.
Okay, one of the things that's really good feedback. One of the things that we're integrating is a project where you do have to use Excel.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that makes a sense, because that's what you're gonna be using. What really got me confused is like, you see, when you click it, you got so many account not names to know which one to pick. They should be focused on what you need to learn, not just get you confused. Sometimes you feel like I get frustrated when I look at it sometimes.
So the 601 class, there's an interesting new feature. So they have a lot that we're changing the book, first of all.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of videos. So like I have it set up where you can watch a video, like instead of Learn Smart, you can watch a video and then you answer 3 or 4 questions about the video, and you just keep going like that in bite-sized pieces to learn the material. I think that if we have time next week, I'd like to just kind of show you the way that works and see what you think, or after the class if anyone's interested.
But it just seems like the book, it's more concerned about doing this basic thing, and it's great, don't get me wrong. It gives you a nice little starting point, and you're going to get more experience out in the real world, which we all know that. But it doesn't add anything of value that you couldn't have learned. And I will say this as a person that I didn't get my degree until 20 years after I got out of the military.
Right.
I already had all that stuff from my bachelor's degree way earlier because I did it in a job.
Okay.
Jobs. So
yeah.
I didn't really, and I will say this, I love National University because I got more value than I did in the junior college portion of my degree, but I didn't get anything excessive that I could say that, wow, I really, really learned something.
But part of that's because you have an undergraduate degree in accounting.
Well, and I'm not saying that against the graduate school.
No. I'm just trying to explain every school has that issue because accounting didn't used to have a graduate program. And the problem is that unless you're specializing in like tax or audit, accounting's accounting. I mean, it's like the schools that try to differentiate between intermediate accounting as an undergrad and intermediate accounting as a grad student, unless you're going to like add a longer paper or something, there really isn't. I mean, the concepts are the same. They don't change. The accounting cycle's the same. I mean,
but I'm saying I'm getting more value from the graduate programs than I did from the bachelor programs.
Okay.
Because the bachelor programs, I had already learned. Most of it was basic stuff that I had learned in bookkeeping. And
did you do intermediate as an undergrad student?
I'm sorry?
Did you do intermediate accounting classes as an undergrad?
I did. But I will say it helped a little bit on the journal entry stuff and a few things on the general ledger, but it didn't open it enough because accounting is as it is, it's not going to really change. They didn't open it up enough to where it was real world applicable. Everything that I did in my bachelor's degree was testing to just pass the class and pass whatever book we were going for. I got more value from the professors that spent so much extra time on doing YouTube videos, actually expanding on what the book did. And I still use those videos.
Okay.
to go back when I get stuck on something, because, you know, when you get more advanced, some of the little things you end up passing over. So it's, the graduate program's been a lot more because, yes, it's more intensive. You have all the access work because you have to do this, but there's still that aspect that you're having to test to this book. And while the generalized, I can see the general idea of what they're getting to.
Right.
Some of it still doesn't convert over, and they make it so hard answering some of the questions on things in a way that you would never do on anything in accounting. So it doesn't look the same. So your brain doesn't take it and say, hey, I've seen that before, because you're never going to put those negatives on there.
Okay. So I want you to tell me if it is okay with you if I share this conversation with Dr. Leitner.
I'm completely fine if you want to.
Okay. I mean, and she's great. She is extremely concerned about the integrity of the program and that the students get the most that they can out of the program. So, I mean, she is completely 100% on your side. But then
I just want relatable information from my aspect.
Right. So
I guess it comes from being an older student, but I just want to know that it's relatable, because I had all the work experience until I couldn't get hired in my job without the degree. So I had to get the degree.
So are you planning?
And now I'm getting to the second area where I've reached to the highest that I could get, because I have all that experience and the bachelor's level isn't enough. So I'm going through the master's, which is why they're pushing me the way that they're pushing me.
Right. So how many of you plan to sit for the CPA exam?
2 years.
Okay.
I want to break from school for about a year before I go for that.
Yeah, we might want to talk about that, Catherine. You might want to call me over the holidays so we can talk about that, because the structure of the CPA exam now, that might not be your best, that might not be the best process for you.
I'm fine with talking about it.
Yeah, just call me over the holidays to chat.
That's fine.
Who else plans to sit for the CPA exam?
I do.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so then I guess my question is, for those of you who don't plan to, why not?
And why are you taking financial accounting if you aren't?
Okay, so think about it, because I'm going to ask the same questions next week about the CPA exam. But I am going to share this with Dr. Leitner so that she can so we can talk about some of these things as we're developing the courses, because we're doing it right now. Other than that, I will see you on, gosh, is this already Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for your papers. If you have any questions about them, you're welcome to call me. You have my phone number, 720-883-1630. Plus you all have it because that's how you get into the Zoom meeting. And I will see you on Tuesday, but I'm literally around all weekend if you have any questions.
Do you mind, Professor, before you head off to bed, because I am too, do you mind a 2-minute call?
No, not at all. And for the one person that got kicked out of our class that's still trying to get back in, I will post this to YouTube tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right? I will see you Thursday. I'm going to sign off. I'll post the video in the morning. And yeah, my phone's right here. I'll make sure the ringer's on. So go ahead and call me, Catherine.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good night, you guys. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.